Or I will attack, and you don't want that. Let's get back to the whole. I think this time you let you let it through. So baby. Yeah. Summit 2025. Which is taking place today. We have organized for starting a little bit of cooperation. Please, we don't need to start from a particular clause to sit down together. We don't need to rely on, you just need to mix up yourself. It's an opportunity to connect yourself, opportunity to have this time someone, someone from another club. So please, we are starting immediately, and I just want to say once again, we are all welcome. I want to recognize the North is our district governor in person of Rotarian is Henry and it's a way for us together. That is the district governor, the number one man of our district. Thank you. You are welcome, sir. Again, I also want to learning fast, in person of specific of and what to say. Please, I want to go out together for judgment speaker is also here. I want to quickly recognize this our together for Also, I can see that we have our presidents, United Presidents, United Presidents of Zonal. And yes, I can see United Presidents of the people of Central Center, Central Center, United Presidents, I can see the United President come for it, come for it, come and find out this government, do the work. Thank you, Rotarian Henry, you are welcome. I can also see the United President of RC and I made before. Next, come through in this country. Yes, yes, we have the icons that we are here, and as we continue our this putting more effort to ensure that we have this program. I want to recognize past president us equal to all the ones together for him. It's one of the icons for today. Yes, we also have a comment. Immediate past president Joseph Anayo is also an icon. I will we also have the morning, as the morning for Ghana Estate, so the icon, so that's for her. I understand. Thank you for coming. That's one of our icon. Please, I will go every person is here. But at this time, because we don't have the time to start the program, we start the program. Okay, so in page number 25, after this song, we just call the music to order. So let's go to let's make that song the Happy Wanderer. The Happy Wanderer in page. Before we play that song, also, I was waiting for the writers. the woman was together, the woman who is living in Sicily, and she is the son coordinator from Sicily. Please let us try our son coordinator. Your eyes there for this including and dynamic lady. She has all the strengths to put system of together. You are welcome, our son coordinator. I'm to see you. All right, let's look at page 5, the happy wanderer. La 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 la. La 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 la. Sing lively. I
Smiling, past district governors in the House, assistant governors here present, past assistant governors, without forgetting my zonal coordinator, PAG Captain Adedibu, for your effort to gather here today. Fellow United Presidents, past presidents here present, guests and friends of the Rotary. It's a great pleasure to be here to do this, to carry out this action here. But the concept of this zonal committee say is the club within the zone with the highest support.
This side of the Yes, Mr. Governor. Thank you. So, very much. So, next
Thank you very much. District Governor, Prince of Impact, Henry Akinyele. As District Governor Rebibelo, my predecessor, who handed over to me very well and made me to succeed. Thank you very much. The guest speaker for today, I want to read your name very well. That is Mr. Balogun NT, Doctor Balogun NT, PhD, who incidentally will be inducted into my club at an next meeting, Rotary Club of Maryland. He was the speaker at the Institute in Belgium, and that was where we got him and we brought him. Thank you for being here today. Assistant governors in the House, past assistant governors. Permit me to recognize our presidents, elected presidents, in charge of all the different clubs that are present today. Past presidents too, they are present. Our fellow Rotarians who are so distinguished, well seated and ready to learn. The Chief of Staff to the District Governor, PAG Usola Satu. Zonal Coordinator, my former SA, PAG Kefe Adedibo. When you look at those very small statured ladies, they are only small, but they are mighty. Oh yes. Small, yeah, they're always small body, but big enemies. Thank you very much for the leadership of this zone. PAG and PAG Usola for supporting our district governor, all the other members of the district governors also. Let me appreciate the zonal coordinator first for bringing me into the program, for sharing your thoughts with me, for sharing the desire of the zone with me, for sharing where you know and areas that Rotarians in the zone need to be guided. And the zone has not made any mistake in choosing the particular field which centers around the Rotary Foundation for this summit. Very good of you, very thoughtful of the zone. And I want to assure you that a lot to be learned today on foundation. Just be ready to listen and ask questions. Then we get there. Of course, our GQ is going to give us his opening remarks now and updates on activity of the district briefly. The first presentation, we're going to swap it. Pili Shoga will come in later, and he's in a meeting now in his office. So to come in after the district governor is PAG Ismaila Regibelo, FCA, and they'll be taking us through Rotary Foundation donations and recognitions. Well, if you look at me today, I have 3 of my own recognitions. I work purposely because of this kind of scene that we're embracing today. Hopefully, after he should take Rotary Foundation, giving through different types and levels of endowment for the support. That's what it is. You get to know very soon when he delivers his own presentation. And of course, snack break. Dr. Balogun MC will take us through cross-cultural understanding in a civil society. Let me introduce for you to know where it comes in. He is the assistant regional Holy Foundation coordinator for the 27 zone 22. The three people that we have brought in for this zone, they are Dukenons. Foundation. Therefore, we are going to learn and relearn today. The last topic will be taken by Peter. And that would be, I don't know how to say it, what you can easily access. But many of us don't tap into it. Just allow the money to go. And the final topic will be taken by Mr. Muhammad Ademola. And the topic is maintaining emotional balance of broken relationships and betrayal. I'm sure one way or the other, everyone would have faced something like that, similar. Not even marriage relationships. And the relationship between friends, so many, they differ. So that will be the last one. I want to thank the opportunity of questions and answers. I hope in 10 minutes will be enough, or 20 minutes, that will be good enough to handle that. And of course, the rest are appreciations and all of the things. On that note, I want to thank the Zonal coordinator again and the entire zone for having a rich content for this zone 3 summit. Yes, thank you. So thank you very much, MC David Uno, to take over.
Please, are you guys together for our first president governor? Please, let us celebrate this one. Celebrate her. She deserves all celebration. She deserves all celebration. All right. The second time, she has the rest of the family. Yes, I will. Yes, I will. Smart, as the settlers of answers today. And what was now? But I want to also so changing the law. Not the of this I want to invite another minister of law in the person of Korea and peace and
Thank you. I recognize all district leaders that are here. I want to believe that at the opening of this program, because has been well established, and I will please invite you all that whoever that is going to speak to just acknowledge the convener, the district governor as speaker, so that we can save a lot of time. So thank you very much. So once again, I want to say good it's not already. Good afternoon, my fellow Rotarians. I can't hear you. Good afternoon, my fellow Rotarians. Yes, I thank you. I feel greatly honored to be here this afternoon to share in this meeting edition of Zone 3 Summit. I want to thank you very much, most especially the leadership from starting from the beginning of Rotarian Cafe. I am sincerely very impressed with what I've seen here today. And I want to thank you very much. And I want to thank all other zonal leaders that have joined hands with our coordinator to organize this event. I thank all my United Presidents of Zone 3. I think having this number here today shows your support. I also sincerely want to thank you. I appreciate all of you. I mean, you are 10 here now. Because this is quite very impressive. Please, we put our hands together for our president. We all understand why we are having this program. It's for our growth, it's for learning, and of course, it's for one thing. Permit me to also take you through the memory lane. I remember during the time we were preparing for the year, I consulted with my leaders here that this year we're not going to do something usual. We are going to be very creative with it, and that was why we changed the particular meeting to Zonal Summit. And the idea is not the learning alone; it's also for, an avenue to share ideas within the zones, and to also make better use of our coordinators. And that is why so many things have been driven through these rooms, and I am highly impressed with the results we have seen so far. Driving membership through the zones, driving Rotary Foundation through the zones, and driving a lot of activities through the zones. Part of it we also have the social the usual living with the aging, where zones there is the SAT as zones, and so many things were done through the zones. So I sincerely want to thank you all for sharing this goal of the district governance and for having this. The idea is we want clubs within a cluster, which is the zone, to come together, to collaborate in terms of service projects, in terms of activities that you can think of. And I have discovered during the course of my visit to our club, when you get to the zone, you see personally all the zonal business of that zone supporting the RO. When you see get to restoration ceremonies, you see residents of that zone supporting the RO. So that is a teamwork. And this is the sense of having a zone. And also it's also an avenue leaders. Now we continue to see potential leaders of zones. And this is how we continue to go with, and these zonal coordinators, these zonal leaders will move to the district and also serve as street leaders, and of course, eventually, maybe the district governors. I look forward to this zones producing the district government in the nearest future again. Amen. Thank you. Thank you. The expectation there today is that we want to strengthen our relationship. Now we know ourselves as members of the same zones. I am impressed with the number we have here today. So please let us feel free to connect and connect beyond Rotary. Let's exchange cards, let's exchange ideas, let's go what you do so you can the obsessions and all that, so that we can continue to recognize ourselves. Rotary has grown beyond service projects as our primary aim with much in our society. Also, development and leadership skills. This is what we're going to do here today. Also, network, and that is the purpose of organizing this event. So I look forward to you taking something away from this program today. I'll share with you briefly some of the things we have done in the district so far. We have gained membership of 600 260 to 70 airplanes. So 2-3 days ago, I think that's a very good one. So maybe those people are. I can't tell you now. No, 200. So it shows clearly that we are going to achieve our goal for this country year. Our net gain for this country year is 500. And if at the end of the 4th month we are already cruising around 270, certainly I am highly very confident that we're going to go for this 100. And we are going to start to work on our engagement. Everybody will be encouraged from this number. Yes, there are quite a number of clubs in pipeline, professional clubs will be organized. And I hope that you will all play your role to making sure that all these clubs, we have almost about 10 of them. One has been shattered already, the second one has launched. And I hope that before the end of this program, I mean, this first half, we also shatter the 12 club and social dose of club. So please seek your cooperations. I want to please enjoy you. I may not have the opportunity to speak to the mic again, but please let us enjoy Rotary. And I want to see it at the district level. There are quite a lot of activities going on, and I want you to have the hand of it. It's a matter of fact, very early this morning about the some of the Rotarians left for District C70, which is North Carolina on Friendship Estate. So I look forward that when we call for the next batch going to Brazil in February, and also Kenya in March, that you will see people's friend. Thank you so much, sir. That people will join, will be part of that trip. We are also going to receive our friends from Canada, Friendship Estate, this time around inbound. They are coming here. We are also expecting inbound from Brazil. They are so excited to come to Nigeria. They are going to stay in our homes. We are not going to put them in the hotels. They are going to stay in our, the idea is that let us relate, let us connect beyond still ourselves at events like this. So when we call for you to be available to host some of these inbound, and of course be part of the house family, can also expect that you will be part of them. As we speak, we have two of our youth exchange participants in Germany. So we have two of our children in Germany as we speak, going through the youth exchange program, staying with the foster parents. We also have two at the pipeline. We have one screening as well. We also have two going to that same Germany, another district in Germany. We have one already going to Brazil for 1 year to stay over there. When we call for this, please, we want you to please bring out those young adults. Your children, Rotarian children can also participate. As a matter of fact, one of the latest candidates going to Germany is a son of a Rotarian. So we can always enjoy this. These are part of the activities of Rotary that we must not be left out. So, thank you very much. In another few weeks, we shall be going to look at the West African Fair, West African Project Fair. I want to encourage as many of us that has registered for that program that will go. It's not in tambourine anymore. Yes, we want to enjoy ourselves, we want to go to London. But it is not only a tambourine. We must go with something, with positive project. All your club leaders to put up a small project. You don't need sheets of it. Just run in for value of the project, the level of the project, how you intend to fund the project, the benefit of the project, the number of beneficiaries, and come over to give these projects to Rotarians who are coming to hunt for projects. They are coming to hunt for projects. My club has done 2 good West African project fair. The latest one was about 54 million naira project. And we got this through West African project fair from the club of Korea. So these are some of the things we need to tap into. We need to do and follow it. Our collaboration, you can imagine, just coming together, the 13 clubs from these homes, coming together with 1 million naira, and maybe district grants, to global grants, to carry out the project. You can imagine how much the project and how impactful it will be. So I encourage us to do so. I will do this exercise before I leave because I don't want to waste that time. At the beginning of this Rotary year, I tell all the zonal coordinators and the next Rotary, I want you to be part of this. I welcome our past history of Nakola Shoko. Thank you very much, sir. All the way from the state 1912, please can we put our hands together for the King of Wales? At the beginning of this Rotary year, I remember number exact number of Rotarians in each state. In each state. To all our general coordinators. And in our zone, zone 3, in our zone, we numbered over 435, right? Rotarians. We have 435 Rotarians in this district, in this zone. And out of, and like I said the other time, our net gain is about 270 now. And today, we are 475. So we have gotten 40 new members into this road. Please, if you are a new Rotarian and you are here and you tell this Rotarian, please can you be can you go stand up for recognitions? If you join this your club, if you join this Rotarian, please can you put my hands together for her. Thank you very much. So that's another 4, 5, 6, 7, no, 8. Fantastic. Thank you very much. So, if we divide that from where definitely I expect these zones to take the largest chunk of membership. So if you are going to divide it, it's going to be 100 per zone, right? So I expect that we still have a race. And all of us, we are part of this. We have this mantra of one big one. If there are 485 at the beginning of Rotary year, and half of us, just half, can introduce one person to Rotary, then we'll be talking about 200 petitions and souls. So I want to just tell you, let us and invite our friends and bring them into Rotary. The more we are, the merrier. May I please specially recognize the president and members of the community and head of the in this group, thank you. In this group, we are leading with the troops in terms of membership. In this group, we are started with 46. And as of today, they have added 17. And they are now 59. Can we please put our hands together for that very good job? Thank you very much. We may need to work ourselves out. Lagos first half of Smoke. We were 17 at the beginning of the year. We are still 17. Lagos from Lagos first half of we were 19 at the beginning of the year, and we are still 19. So when I call out the names, I'm not talking to the club, that particular club alone, the president and member. I'm also calling out the assistant governor, and the zonal coordinator as well. We have these statistics. I'm also one of them. We have Canadian State. We were 29 at the beginning of the month of the year. We are still 21. We need a lot of work available. 15 at the beginning of the year. We are still 15. Although they can play the middle of the land of they are coming up. But the seven, the financial, please let my president, where are you? And I come for you. You are the people. So you know them that way. Thank you. So clubs are the clubs that have not added a member to their club this Rotary year. Please, I want us to go back and please do meaningful. In terms of our Rotary Foundation, well, like I said in membership, I also expect that Zone 3 will lead because this group is close to where the moving is. Yes, it's close to the city. I expect that this club will lead in terms of our contribution to foundation. We have done it, well enough. $100,000 our target is $500,000 as a case. But as of today, we have done a little above 100, and the contribution of this zero is as of today is 21,385. Let's put our hands together for that. Yes, maybe if you are going to share it fairly, but we cannot share it fairly. If you are going to share it fairly, you say, okay, out of about maybe 120,000, you have done 21. It's not even happening to you. So we are ready to say that we can do better. I have actually all the clubs in these zones, most of the clubs in this zone, and we had a deal. I hope that we'll keep the first going. Rotary Foundation, thank God. Published today and said that around Rotary Foundation, so we're going to hear more about Rotary Foundation and the reason why we have to do. So I will also follow of Canadian State. We have not really done this Rotary year. So please, we need to work with them. So we need to. I don't want to talk about the friends here. If I tell you how you will and do your own contributions to foundation, but I know that we can do it. I trust that you will do it even before we leave there. Rotary of our grandmother's way. No penny. No $1 this Rotary here. And the last one, Rotary of our fire. We have not also done anything this Rotary here. I have seen $10 from a club, I won't call your name. Akara. So I want to do something else. This is an expression of having this summit. Now you have the statistics of where I come and what we need to do. I want to appeal to all our Rotarians to please let us know. Please, what we should take our own part of the goal and let us do the needful. May I please also specially recognize members, president, and members of Rotary Club of Greenfield. So you please be outstanding. They are leading in terms of members, in terms of Rotary Foundation. They have done 5,750 our foundation this Rotary year. I don't have to just let them 50%, right? Let them be very more. I trust you. So thank you very much. Thank you so much. Thank you. So let me tell you, I was looking at your back. A club is greatly, just with $11,000. Those people of Agbala have $5,280 our foundation is over here. Please, let out the people of Agbala because everything will be outstanding. No more. You no more. Thank God. My ADJ president there is wearing the polar hat. Chifuna is here. My friend is also wearing the polar hat. Maybe we will also meet on the polar hat and see when we will play the phone. I must also recognize Rotary level of the universal staff and maybe the same closing to them as on contribution to the private and member of Western Cosmopolitan and this also stand up. I thank you very much. I thank you very much. Those are the three clubs in terms of formation. We're going to share give awards at some level at the end of the Rotary year. You should also watch your back. A club is not $60 left to meet up with you. And I recommend Rotary Club of for donating 2,520. You have 2,500 So I thank you very much, my dear friends and fellow Rotarians. I want to encourage you to please encourage this summit. Next, learn and relearn. Thank you very much, and God bless you all.
It's going to be let us follow the next one to get a wonderful session. Thank you for your time and distance. Thank you so much.
I was watching carefully to see that we never smell several hours. And so, separate that one will see the bells. Every time I go by this bill. Okay, the first speaker for today. Foundation, Sean. This is the say, as
Thank you. Well, my district governor, performing district governor, area clearly. Thank you for the good job you are doing. Doing very well. District learning, please permit me to give full recognition. I know you said we should adopt the recognition already done, but I think I owe it a duty to recognize some key people that have made this possible today. In particular, PDG Omotude Lawson, who doubles as district learning facilitator for District 91 and 11. We are recognized, and I want to thank you most sincerely for inviting me here this afternoon or morning. I recognize PDG Kona Shodipo, district learning facilitator for District 9112. Thank you for coming. The zonal coordinator, dedicated and the president of zone clubs, the zone club for zone 3, fellow Rotarians. I say good afternoon to you all. I thank you for inviting me for keeping a word or two on TRF donations and recognition at the summit. I have my presentation here. What I could have done was to say, okay, please send it by email, go and read it. But let's see how we can talk to it. I am here to facilitate, not to deliver a lecture. So I will want to make it as interactive as much as possible. We are talking of TRF. What does TRF stand for? Any idea? What does TRF stand for?
Of course, it's very obvious. It's the Rotary Foundation. What I was looking at is zone 2 I saw there. Please, I think it's like typographical error, right? For this zone 3. Yes.
Okay, thank you. That's a good observation. So 3, I go to sorry for that title. Zone 3. Please. I have that example of mine. We are not at zone 2. TRF stands for the Rotary Foundation.
Donations and recognition. What does donation or donations stand for? What is the meaning of donation? Any idea? Donation. When we say donation, is the same English. We are talking of support. Any idea? Giving without any being asked for. Okay? Donations. Without okay? What is recognition? Recognition. Recognition. What recognition? Any idea? Everyone wants to be recognized. Identifying with a good cause. Appreciation. Yeah. Everybody wants to be appreciated. So next slide. Our learning objective is to have a appreciation of what donation is. To appreciate why you have to donate to TRF. To know more about awards and recognition. We are next. Yes, a donation is a transfer of money in the form of a gift. For clarification, a donation is not the same as a grant. You know grants. We have grants in Rotary. I mean, types of grants, district grants, global grants, those are free funds. Okay, they are different. Donation is also free, but it is not the same as grant. The definition of every terms are provided below. A gift is a voluntary transfer. It is a voluntary transfer of money by a donor. Name it philanthropic intent or intention. That is something you did without you counting cost. The donation can be either in cash or in kind. When it is in kind, that is service you provide, your classification you use, that's in kind. But in cash is the one we normally talk about, given to the foundation, through every donation to partner fund, polio plus, and the like. The next slide. First donation to TRF. That was in 1917. We will recollect. We will recollect AKS. Remember AKS, Active Society. That was the first president of Rotary Foundation that started, that changed endowment fund into the Rotary Foundation. The first donation to the TRF was in 1917, $26.50. We normally try to encourage ourselves to at least the Rotarians should be able to donate $26.50 to the foundation annually. I remember in 2017, when we had 100 years of the foundation, everybody was the president to pay, but we donate $26.50 to the foundation. Yes, the next slide. That was the first donation, trying to expatiate on it for us. The next one.
Ways to donate to the Rotary Foundation. You donate to foundation through the annual funds, polio funds, endowment of permanent fund. Annual funds. Do you understand annual fund? What is it about?
These are the donations that can be made repeated annually. For instance, every Rotarian every year. It's an annual donation.
Thank you very much. It's an annual donation that every Rotarian is expected to make, especially the early $100 that are expected to contribute to the foundation as a Rotarian, every Rotarian every year. PHF. What is a PHF program? Rotary. Hilary fellow, somebody who does what?
Somebody that donated $1,000 and above. Or
You donate $1,000 to the foundation annually. Either or you can say like $200 annually or periodically to make $1,000. At that moment, will be decorated with a PHFP. Interest. Interest. Stress. Anyway, okay.
or high society. $1,000. Yes.
Somebody who tries to donate $1,000 annually. We have a little Rotary in the foundation. Let me go there. $1,000. You don't need to pay $1,000 as a day. But if you are so close, $10,000 and the at the end of the day. That's $100 per flight. And then society, like we are the PHS. We are the society members. The same way as is the same way we are having polio law society. Endowment of permanent fund. And I grant from any angle. Permanent fund. Don't idea from this photo. I know this. That's all right. Is that money that you contribute a minimum of $2,000, which you don't think that belongs. You can put it in separately, $2,000 to start with. That is a fund that assures us that election will be forever. $450,000 negatively, and we can start with $50,000. You don't need to put $50,000 at once. Historical payment is allowed. It is in the interest and from that funds that is used for military activities for all the good we are doing in the world. That interest is added to the annual fund, which comes back to us, 50% of which comes back to us 3 years after the payment is saved. Next slide, please. We have made it. We have a case at hand now. A named gift being prepared, being proposed for the doing of our district. $25,000. I thought the DG would talk about that. It's something that I believe is very part of this occasion to talk about. We have this, our reward as district governor, Julie Adelusi, who has done so much for Rotary in our region, in our country, and in 2025, I think the DG was there protesting, and we promised to institute a new gift, which is $25,000. It's something we are raising funds for. I believe these will not be left out. They're ready to be part of it, of that gift. We have online donations. You can make one. Recording donations securely online. Rotary.org. You can raise anytime you like. $2, $5, $10. There's no amount you will donate that is not welcome. Next slide. Like I said, donate online, www.rotary.org, contribute. Website, the website take you to the donation page. Next. Rotary Foundation. What do we need to donate?
How many workers, man? We did the fight against polio and so on.
That's a good one. Fight against polio. Remember all those 7 areas of focus. That's why we get money executing those areas of focus. Next slide. Yeah, he has mentioned the polio, which we are very close at achieving. Because of the quality of the organization we are, we have to donate. CRA, the Rotary Foundation, from the 15th consecutively, 15 straight star rating from Charity Navigator. Charity Navigator is that global rating agency for non-government organizations, and they continue to rate your foundation, our foundation, 50 consecutive times with 4-star rating, show that the quality of management of the foundation is not in doubt. So why would you put your money in that kind of organization? That's what I meant by quality. Accountability. If not 95% of the funds donated into the purpose you want to pay for, whether it's for water, sanitation, the maximum you can see out of it for administration or administrative purposes is not up to 5%, it's not more than 4%. So it's to be used. Yes, your money will influence future. Leaders of the Rotary Foundation, a special group of people who are supporting the next generation of children
from across the globe. Next slide, please. The foundation share program, say program or share system, whereby your money, the contribution or the donation into the annual, member of annual fund that well of early interest, million, 4 billion foundations. $1,000. If it is to come and then executing progress. Last time, we were history. Come back to your history. To stay to world found. The world found is a human found. At whether we contribute to world as long we are a cloud, you have the opportunity or you need to share in that world from that source is known as share system. What I'm saying here is that the government allows smaller clubs that cannot afford projects to participate in doing like projects. The recognition promote. When you promote to the foundation, you are giving what is called recognition account. You can be used in match. When somebody wants to be a nice fellow, he has just got $500. When you pay your $1,000, you are giving £1,000. You can that is $500 and you become future as if you are paid as if you are paid $1,000. That's what I'm saying there. I'm talking about. The next slide, please. Awareness and recognition. Root International offers numerous awards to recognize general donations of time, money, of individual Rotarians, non-Rotarians, clubs, and to be eligible, you have to submit nomination forms, or you can be nominated. So there are some awards, recognition that are automatic. So for instance, somebody running this thing now, teacher, that's a recognition. You are recognited. You have your pay, show that you have been recognized, you have been appreciated. That's a recognition. Now, let's go on. I'm trying to define what an award is. In terms of other mark of recognition, I asked about it earlier on, what was trying to define it. Giving one of an achievement. An achievement is you being able to act as much as $1,000, as much as $10,000, as much as $250,000. It's an achievement, it's an attainment. The recognition, somebody said it earlier on, it's an appreciation or an acclaim for an achievement, service, or ability to get something done. You are recognized. Next slide, please. Rotary's highest honor recognizes Rotarians who demonstrate nature, service, evolve, self. By volunteer, by time, and talent, not just only the money you give. We always talk of things that we play with. Yeah? thinking, time, talent, and treasure. Those are the first. Those that are ready to act with them, we normally give them highest honor in Rotary. The award is internationally competitive and is granted to no more than 150 Rotarians worldwide annually. That's the Rotary's highest honor recognizes. That is Service People's Award. Next slide, please. We have in the recognitions individuals that have contributed, such as TRF sustaining member of the Rotary Foundation by $200 annually. The factor, $1,000 and $1,000 plus, or PHS, like we have said earlier on, always recognized. That's the kind of thing I showed you. That's individual. Next, like we have club recognition. We have a Club Excellence Award, the most important award for Rotary clubs. I don't know how many of our presidents are aware of this. It's the most important award for Rotary clubs. Who can report good achievement? The club officers. The nomination deadline is 30th June. Like I said earlier on, you have to file your nomination. You need to be given the award. If you don't say, here I am, how will they know you are there? What you have done? Normally, the award is electronic certificate. It's not just given, but you will assessed based on what your employer has done. You can find more about this on Rotary and Rotary Club Excellence Goals and its instructions. The next slide, please. We have Rotary Club Excellence Award, the most important award for Rotary clubs. The next slide, please. Significant nice projects. Attack next current condition. There are so many and recognition that can be found at Rotary www.org. Next slide. Try to bring them out. Next slide. Awareness of Service Award. This is recognition. It is bring out is different types of children to share with you so that you can know more how to achieve this award and be recognized to deserve one. Next slide, please. Rotary Foundation citation for medical service. That's another one. Next.
Distinguished Service Award go to Foundation too. Yes. Yes. I listed many of them. Okay. Let's review the line of objective. I've been able to define what the foundation is. Awards and recognition. Know more about awards and recognition. Will I use this?
Did you see the message? I sent to your WhatsApp. To your WhatsApp saying to send.
See, this is my original. This is the original. If yes, Remy, Essie, and then Ellen.
Please, once again, can we put our hands together for our assistant governor? That's a very good one. I want to believe we have learned a lot, and we are going to take this back to applause and as individuals to see how we can help our foundation. Also, what that was going on, we have one of our assistant governor from the other district who traveled all the way to this district. I want to recognize that assistant governor of the Gishora. Please, I want to put our hands together for you. Thank you, sir, for coming. Now we are going to stage. Okay, the interview we started late, and we are going to do some. We might come back to that later on. But now let us go straight to the next topic.
Give this is my own original. You collect it back on where it's going.
Okay.
Give DS
So we'll so we'll put all of questions. If you have questions for me, let's take questions. Like two questions is okay. Just two questions. Yes, sir. PH Alan.
PDG, sir. It's not really a question, just to lay an argument to rest. What's the minimum amount one can contribute in a Rotary year that qualifies one as a sustaining member of the Rotary Foundation?
Is there one person? Yes.
She's not in Nigeria.
Second person.
Okay.
No other question.
Things are concerned with the WhatsApp. What did you remove this from?
Again today.
What did you put?
Good afternoon. My question goes to, you said once $1,000 is completed to the local foundation, they use 1,000 points, and somebody can pay $500 and it will match with another person's points. So I want to ask, sir, is it only when you want to match that these points can be used, or I can outrightly say, okay, I want to give this person 1,000 points out of my points? Thank you.
You want to ask a question? Okay, let me just take yours quickly.
I would like to know if there is anything wrong between awards and recognition. When they ask me about territorial, what is the difference between an award and recognition? Like to enlighten them.
Thank you. The difference between award and recognition.
No, there's still another one. That's original.
Yeah, thank you very much. I suspend you from my presentation. For you to be a sustaining member, anyway, you must be somebody with $100 minimum. So I think I said that first. The other question about matching, I think this speaker has been one of these. Big is ready to match anybody that is willing to pay $500 today, and you'll be matched to become a wise fellow. The question you are asking is, if somebody has spent $1,000 each of, and is having a unit in his credit, can we give to somebody else? It's not very one of that. Even the $500 we talked about earlier on, it's not a gift. It's an IOU. You know an IOU. You always pay back an IOU if you are in an office to collect an IOU. By the time you have to pay your salary, what do you do? Nothing. Every time you have to pay most to a paycheck. $500 for you and IOU. You must pay it. Because it's not in your credit to the foundation account. So, that. So, even if you are given the unit, you are think you are relatively. It's not real something. But I don't think it works that way. You must have a credit on the foundation account so you can be marketing. Because you have a session for the last speaker.
My district governor, police, you know, when I saw it, I said, it is not in Nigeria. How come I said, well, we people know how to do it. And today is the result. From Canada, so let's put our hands together for me. And I would like to talk about my meeting. Then I'll call my people for this little token about the have for you. Thank you very much, sir.
Please, can we once again put hands together to control for the workers and the organizer of this event? This summit. Yes. Rosemary has been parts. I agree that this plans to dollars. By now, I think I will be putting around the $39,000. That is something to know. They want to appreciate you, sir. On behalf of the leaders, United Presidents, please, can you please join us? Please, all of you can join United President. Please, thank you, man, for joining us, the DLF. So, on behalf of the leaders of this zone, and of course, the entire members of the that we are pleased to present this token gift to you for your time today and for the beautiful paper you have presented to us. We have learned and we continue to read them. Thank you very much for your time.
our district governor, all United Presidents, PDGs, fellow Rotarians. Well, in this presentation, well, let me start by saying good afternoon to you all. This presentation, I will attempt to just build a little more on the foundation that PDG Bello has laid. Otherwise, we will just have a lot of repetition. I will just touch on a few things. But major talk will be about giving to the endowment. Speak a bit more about that. So we'll go on. Next slide. And what are the key words in this presentation? What is an endowment? A gift, money or property given to an organization or institution. For instance, you hear that someone endowed a professorial chair, vanity or the other. Rotarians are super givers, aren't we? Yeah. We give our time, talent, treasure, and thinking, and we keep giving and giving without tiring. And we all know that giving is for the living. But then, when we talk about endowment fund, even the non-living can give. But they start that process when they are living. And we also know that giving, we don't know anyone that has been diminished by giving. Do you know? Ebenezer Obey sang one song long ago when they said he sings to get people's money. And he said, Moki Madam Titi, Kakako Ere. So, Rotarians, when you keep giving, the only thing that will happen is your hands will keep rising. And that's my prayer for you. When we talk about the endowment fund, we know that one day we'll all be gone. But we can keep giving even when we are no longer around. So the one that endows the professorial chair, professors will continue to occupy that chair as it were, even when it's not there. Next slide. So many of you here have been giving for decades, and you have remained committed and keep giving because you believe it's the right path. Therefore, we want to remind you or bring your attention to a few of opportunities that we have not explored. And it's appeal to your kind hearts. An invitation, as it were, when we talk about endowment fund, for you to cement your legacy. When you talk about legacy, what is a legacy? Something remaining behind that people remember you by, isn't it? What did Adedibu tell us about, or was it Adelabu about legacy? They asked him, what will your legacy be when you are gone? And he kept telling them, legacy not me. You know, legacy. But the legacy here is your legacy with the Rotary Foundation. Next slide. It's a reminder, as it were, using some of our past themes, to believe in what you do and do what you believe in. A reminder to put life into Rotary, your life, because real happiness, after all, is helping others. And Rotary Foundation gives you that opportunity to help others, not just people around you here, people in different places, places you may never find yourself, people you are not likely ever to meet. Next slide. So, what then are the different ways of giving? This PDG Bello told us, in so many words. First, we talk about the 3 funds of the Rotary Foundation. Those are the 3 avenues for giving to the Rotary Foundation. Polio funds, which we know is our number one priority of the Rotary Foundation. And with the efforts you are all making, we are close to eradicating polio. I always tell people about an experience I used to have at work. I don't work anymore. But when I was working, one of the lectures I had to give medical students, not because I'm a Rotarian, but because it's related to orthopedics, was to talk to them about polio. And in trying to make people understand the various deformities, I tried to show them some of the ways some of these patients look. But medical students today are not seeing John that used to walk like that. They're not seeing Mukaila who walks like this anymore. Why? What Rotarians have done to the world. The new students are not seeing polio victims anymore. And that is the difference you are making. You give for them. That means students in another 10 years, maybe we'll just be talking about polio as history. Like they talk about smallpox, one disease that used to trouble children. So don't give up. Continue to support our efforts to eradicate polio. You are already leaving a legacy when you join hands with others to eradicate polio. And that means we should not stop. Minimum $10 per Rotarian every year. If you are in Polio Plus Society, we say give $100 every year until finally polio is eradicated from every nook and cranny of this world. Of course, you could give $1,000 and you get recognized as a Paul Harris Fellow, even though you designate that your money to go to polio fund. And then minimum for a club, $1,500. So the question is, how many clubs here have met that target last Rotary year? That is the minimum we expect every club to do. Whichever way you do it, apart from giving your $10 or more, you could do activities to raise funds and direct them towards polio eradication. Because polio has not gone. If we losing our guards, it's just a plane ride away. Communities that are not sufficiently immunized or religious sects, even in America, children in some of those sects who didn't take the vaccine are developing the polio again. Why? Because somebody has brought it from somewhere else where it is still endemic. So we cannot stop. Money that we give for polio funds, we keep using, isn't it? So it's not there waiting. We keep using it. And you know, one good thing we can do for ourselves is that we donate for polio eradication. We like that foundation is waiting to give $2. They will but we can, so then we have annual funds, essentially in annual funds. A district here for and 3 years. It has a name. One name of the
The DDF is almost doubled, isn't it? So it's good to make our DDF strong. It means that 3 years later, our DDF will be able to support grants if we come forward. But if we don't do well in a particular year, then 3 years down the line, DDF will be low. So if we need, even if you want to do a project and you go to the DD, you're going to be hearing stories that thought you have. Meaning that, I'm sorry, we don't have a lot of money. Maybe we manage 2,000. It is because the way we laid our bed 3 years ago. And that is why it is called annual fund. The money is used annually. DDF that we don't use, they allow us to roll it to the next year, but after 5 years, doing a project of $30,000. And for a global grant, the minimum amount is how much? $30,000. So it's going to be a big project at the highly impact. Out of that DTF that you got, this is also able to fund district grants. Those are the small grants, small projects that we all apply for every year to fund the part of the DTF. So how do you get annual fund? Melo told you of EREY. Every Rotarian, every year. That is because the foundation believes that every Rotarian should be able to give something to the foundation that is your foundation, something you hold dearly, something you want to nourish, and that no Rotarian should be quiet and not give many years. So early. And then, of course, we have the sustaining, who gives more than $100, but not up to 1,000. We are adding up the figure. And when it becomes 1,000, you are recognized as a Paul Harris Fellow, isn't it? Now, in situations about sharing about out of somebody's fund, you know, if you, let's say that Abuola is a Paul Harris Fellow already, he has given $1,000. Next year, he gives another $1,000. You're already a Paul Harris Fellow, isn't it? You can't give yourself another one. So you have 1,000. Two things you can do. Let it be there and the rest. But you can also use it to recognize anyone that is dear to you, your spouse, your child, your friend, and anyone else. So when they are introducing those digits and they say every member of his family is a Paul Harris fellow, it's because they have been recognizing each member of the family as he donates a new one. But you can have some people who maybe they don't really have anyone they want to recognize, but they give to the foundation. So maybe he has done it 5 times, he has 5,000 points. He can decide to give it to anyone. He can make someone who is not a Paul Harris fellow, Rotarian or not, a Paul Harris fellow with 1,000 points. But the district, after approaching him, that shows that 5,000. We also don't want to throw the 5,000 away like that. The 5,000 can still yield another 2,500. And that is the scheme that says, okay, you bring $500. We will match it with 500 points from someone who is ready to support. You become a Paul Harris fellow, but in your record, it's only $500. So the day you keep giving and you think you have reached 10,000, you want to become a major donor, they remind you that you are owing us 500, the one Aguilar dashed you. So you pay that to reach where you are going ultimately. I think it's clear now. So our meet this afternoon is the endowment fund. Endowment fund had a name before, it was changed 2 years ago. What was the name? What was the name of endowment? Portfolio, annual, and endowment. Endowment had a name, but it was changed some 10 years ago. What is the name? Permanent fund. Permanent fund. And the message in that word, permanent, is that we don't use that money. We never spend it. We change the name now to endowment. I think we shouldn't forget that permanent, because it reminds us that it is the one we don't spend. It is our investment for the future. The only part of it that we use is that when we invest it, we have proceeds every year, isn't it? Those proceeds can be used for any of the foundation's worthy causes. Most of the time with endowment, the giver is also given the opportunity of choosing how we use those proceeds. So if you have Athlon society members, people who are given as benefactors and all, the proceeds from the investment, from what has come from our district every year, is added to our district. But if a big giver has said, I want it to be used, maybe to send to World Fund, so that the rest of the world can share it, he has the right. If he says, it should come to my district, but it has to be used for a particular area of focus. I love water and sanitation and hygiene. That is what the money will be available for. So, endowment fund is a permanent fund. We don't spend it. We invest it, but proceeds from our investment come back to us to use for causes, that are special to us. Athlon, like you were told, is president of Rotary International, in 1917 proposed to Rotarians at the Atlanta Convention then that it is good that we set up an endowment for doing good in the world. So when you hear Rotary Foundation doing good in the world, it came from the first words of Athlon when he was proposing that we set up this thing that is today known as Rotary Foundation. And the first fund we were told was $26.50. How did they get that money? Athlon was about to end his tenure as president. The members of his club, thank you. Members of his club had a bonus. Members of his club contributed some money to buy him a gift to appreciate him for his service. And after they bought the gift, there was money left over. That money left over was $26.50. So they said that, okay, that thing you're talking about, we'll give you this. And that is how the first money came into the Rotary Foundation. And then in 1920, when organization that was government became known as Rotary Foundation in 1925, when the collections first reached $5,000. So that is the foundation today that belongs to you and me, that continues to touch lives, that has been rated by Charity Navigator, that is so prudent as it ensures that 91.8% of every money you give to it goes directly to benefit some designated beneficiary. It's not a board where an endowment where 50% of your money has gone on sitting allowance and hotel accommodation and so on and so forth. Your foundation is prudent. It insists on accountability. It insists on sustainability. That is, every money you give, when you use it for a project, you should not abandon that project, but you keep it going so that the money stretches. That is why your foundation has that rating, which has come from Charity Navigator 15 times. Next slide. So, like I said, we are zeroing in on endowment fund. Gifts to Rotary's endowment fund has the ability to ensure that future Rotarians will have resources they need to design and implement sustainable projects in the future years. And how do you support the endowment fund? It can be an outright gift or a planned gift, such as a bequest in your estate. I'm pleased to announce to you that about 7 years ago, the Rotary Foundation made a proposal when the endowment fund was $1.7 billion that let us by 2025 raise this money to $2.025 billion. And you would have heard of a slogan, 2025 by 2025. Once again, you made it. At the last convention, it was announced that money in the endowment fund has actually reached that target of $2.025 billion. And what is that $2.025 billion made of? Cash, money that we have given, promises to give money to the endowment fund at a certain time, property. Some have donated property. And when you give, it's nice to be very clear. I read a story recently of a couple who donated some huge amount, I think it was property to the foundation. But when the man died, the woman changed her mind. And she's close to 100 and she's in court, insisting that the foundation cannot have that money. I don't know what she wants to do. So when you give, you must be very clear, such that what you desire is not changed along the way. Next slide. So how do you give to endowment fund? The minimum $1,000. And when you give $1,000 in your form, you would indicate that it is for endowment. It is for benefactor recognition. When you pay to be a benefactor, the Rotary Foundation will give you but I'm not talking about what I don't know. A pill that I have swallowed. So they give you this, and you wear it under your pin. That's $1,000. That means proceeds from my $1,000 will keep on touching lives forever through Rotary Foundation. And there are many other benefactors in this room. Wouldn't you want to be like them? Consider it. You can be a bequest society member, and there are different levels: 10,000, 25,000, 50,000, and so on. How to become a member of bequest society? 3 ways. First is that you can pledge to the foundation that whatever amount you have chosen, after your demise, that amount from your estate will be given to the road fund. They're not taking it now, but they give you the recognition, believing that you will honor your word at that time and that your children will not change it, or that your wife will not take them to court and say, I don't agree anymore. But they give you that recognition now. Tax or property. There are also other options. You could promise to give it from your pension fund. You could also promise to give it from your life insurance funds. Again, I swallowed that pill and I opted to become a member of Bequest Society. And when you do, you do this thing. When I was RRFC and I made that pledge, the aim was also to do the same. The only person that joined me was PDG Omotunde Lawson. That means you can also do it. She or myself are not different from any of you. I promised to pay it from my pension fund. I thought pension was big money. Now that I've retired and the rate has gone from $400 to $1,500, I'm wondering where I will find the money. But it's a promise, and I will fulfill it. The beauty is that I will give this money to the foundation while I'm alive. So I will not just be bearing Bequest Society member on a promise, but Bequest Society member that has paid. I'm praying for myself. Say amen for me. And you will not hear when I achieve it. So it's also a challenge. You should also consider it and know that even though we are at 2.025 billion, we have not reached where we are going. We still need more because the future needs you. The future needs your support. Next slide. Then we have name gift. That is a gift that bears someone's name. How nice will it be to actually not just be talking of endowment but to say Ade Oyenekan Funds of the Rotary Foundation. It is not only for the deceased, the living can also have a name. It bears the name of the giver or the person who has been so recognized forever. You could do it and recognize your parents. You do it and do it for yourself. For instance, Past President Maggie Agbe had a name gift in the name of his spouse, Ade Maggie Agbe. You know, he lost his spouse just before he became RI president. We are also talking about the proposed Julius Adelusi fund, and the minimum for an endowment fund is for a name gift, $5,000. Next slide. You can start with an initial seed of $10,000 and then increase it to target within 3 years. And when it's established, even after $25,000 is reached, it's not the end of the road. Your children, your friends can keep adding to that fund that bears your name or the name of someone you have so recognized. So that fund can grow from 25 to any amount. And you have the power to designate how future proceeds are applied. Like I said, should it be added to the DDF of your district every year? Should it be used for any of the areas of focus that you love? Should it be added to World Fund so that the whole of the world is able to access and use it to fund their projects? Next slide. And then we have the Affluent Society, which is minimum of $250,000, which you can begin with an initial $50,000 and then make it up over the next 3 to 5 years. And there are higher levels. 500,000, 750,000, or even 1 million in platinum. There are a number of Acclaim Society members in our district. You know, long ago, giving to the foundation was such a big deal. I recall 17 years ago, there were probably only 10 major donors or less in the whole of 9110. And there was one man in Seychelles that was like the star of Africa. There was indeed a time someone was asked a question just to define who is the major donor, just major donor 10,000. And the reply was, Napatel now, Indian man. Is that the definition? A major donor is someone who gives $10,000, isn't it? But what the man knew, because major donors were rare, was a major donor means Patel, Indian man. So when you give to become an affluent society member, you don't just give and that is the end of the road. The foundation invites you to RI headquarters where you are decorated. They pay your fare. You just go and be their guest. Your picture is also displayed in a special room in the RI headquarters. And when you attend road events, you are given a special seat. Next slide. Like I said, the donor has the option of indicating how your proceeds will be applied. Next slide. And because, you know, that thing sounds like, we don't know whether these promises are real. Like this. When I represented 9112 at the last Council on Legislation, we had the opportunity of visiting the RI headquarters. And I insisted I wanted to see that place where they recognize Acclaim Society members. If you are able to enlarge it, don't worry. And you can see that Acclaim Society members are not ghosts. They are people like you. Can you recognize me there? That is PDG Olawale Cole. Right. Let's have another one. Can you recognize me there? It may be difficult. Maybe if they enlarge it, you will see. That is T.Y. Danjuma. The man that told us at one time that he had money but he didn't know what to do with it. So he has found a good cause and he can do more. Because people who can give to become Acclaim Society members don't have to be Rotarians. Our friends, our uncles, our brothers, people we know who have the means. If you tell them what their money can do, you'll be surprised. But devil is not a Rotarian, but he's an Acclaim Society member. So we know people who can do it, and if we do, we should share the information with you. Next slide. People will be, the foundation will then benefit. Also here, should have brought them that one.
I want to make it big.
Next one. Okay, enlarge it, let's see. That's T.Y. Recognize it now. Let me have the next slide. Let me have the next slide. You recognize who is there? That's PDG, late PDG Mike Omotosho. So, people like you are doing it. Next slide. My fellow Rotarians, the endowment fund is a veritable by which you can leave a legacy apart from what you have been doing to annual folio. So think about possible for you to continue to touch lives beyond just your immediate family, even when you are not here, and the foundation gives you that opportunity. Many more of us, one day will not be gone, but we can remain relevant. Aspire to inspire before you expire. Let's unite for good. Thank you.
Please, can we put our hands together for our past district governor for that wonderful, wonderful lecture? Yes, we thank you, sir. We thank you so much. Please appreciate him once again. We are going to take two questions. Two questions on a quick one, please. If you have a question to ask, you are free to ask. While that is going on, I want to recognize the United President of Rotary Club of Festac Metropolitan in person of Rotarian Abimbola Adeyemi. Thank you. We recognize you. Also, the President of Agbara, Rotarian Fatih Ubi. We also recognize you. Thank you so much for coming. And I also want to recognize the United President of Greenfield, Rotarian Bonnie Ogiri. Bonnie Ogiri, thank you for coming. Yes, do we have any question for him? It means we all understood better. Okay, there's a question. Thank you. Just my PDG, there's a question for you.
Good afternoon, everybody. Please permit me to stand on existing protocol. The question I want to ask is, I remember there's a time you mentioned something about Bill and Melinda Gates. So my question is, there's been, I hear the things that they say we're doing. Sorry, apologies. Okay. This is good. Okay, so apologies, I wasn't speaking up. So okay, but the first apology was the other time I slept off during the first person, but no, I didn't sleep over, I was feeling sleepy. But when you started, then you mentioned something. When I was invited, they told me something about the Rotary Club, and it sparked my interest. I'm a humanitarian by nature. But you mentioned something about Bill and Melinda Gates. But there's been, if I want to know the association of Rotary Club and Bill and Melinda Gates, because I'm also my aspect of helping humanity. I'd like to also dig deep and understand what's happening. But there's just been this question. Lately, Africa has had like a rise in cancer, a rise in some autistic children and all. And some of the traits have been attributed to some of this AIDS that have been meted out to Africans. And it's through that means of, I don't want to call names, but we have facts. So I want to know the relationship between Rotary Club and Bill and Melinda Gates, because there's just some unclear grounds. And I know there are nations that have reasoned against some of these grants, purported grants that they give, because at the back end, there is something else that Africans are paying. There is also the GMO, mommy, I know you understand what I'm saying. Most of the crops we're eating now are modified foods, and it's as a result of the help they're helping. I understand the NPO, which is good, but you know there is a rise in autism because of some of the things they're also, vaccines they're also giving to our children in Africa. Some of these things were found in the West. Now, as a result of the introduction of the grants and effect, it's also affected us. So thank you. I just hope that will be answered.
Okay.
In the fight to, thank you for the question. In the fight to eradicate polio, we realized that we cannot do it all alone. And the Beatles had a song, I get by with a lot of help from my friends. Remember that song? I'm not the only old person. Or maybe because I like music. I get by with a little help from my friend. Go and Google it. So, in the effort to eradicate polio, we also need friends. We need partners. Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation is a partner with Rotary Foundation in the effort to eradicate polio. And they give us money to help our effort. The vaccines are not produced by Bill and Melinda Gates. It is produced by what is known as Gavi, Global Alliance for Vaccination. So Bill and Melinda Gates is not the one giving us the vaccine that will give children. And you know, people say, there are too many cases of breast cancer these days. There are too many cases of cancer of the colon these days. You are seeing many more because our populations have increased, one, and because people are now coming to hospital. Those people are not dying by God's will anymore. They are dying through a diagnosis that has been made. So we are seeing those autistic children, we've always had them, they keep them. Now, somewhere to do are having them. That's why you are seeing them around and they are making all the noise. It is not the vaccines. Because those children who will do that were already born before they even got the vaccine. I'm not defending Bill and Melinda Gates. All I know is they are supporting us in our efforts, along with several other partners, World Health Organization, UNICEF, USAID, and so on and so forth. It is a controversial thing, but that is my opinion. It is not the vaccines that are causing more cancers of colon or cancers of the breast. It is because we are now discovering them more. They've always been there. People just die, and it's God's will. Thank you.
So I'm going to start this. This is the special package that we have. The special package for the local person to go with. We are all Rotarians, we know how it goes. So I want to call on the president for today. So I don't know who else is going on. I will tell you about this. I will tell you how of forms. Yes. Yes. $5,000 for Lagos Textile. $5,000. Another estates. $60,000 estates. It's over $90,000. 90,000, yes. Yes. Okay, that's it. 90,000. Yes. So, yeah. Exactly. $10,000 difference. Necessary. That's my secret. My secret. Yes. Sorry. Yes. Yes, something. So, I started. Let me
Madam President, Madam District Governor, I have the honor to present this to our PDG benediction. I think I have an event last year and this my PDG, I tried to him. I think for 6 months, but you see what we can do. I went to him and I didn't pay the time. And today I'm standing on my feet. Let's put our hands together for you. Thank you so much, sir.
Don't let us go through that route. Many of us, we have so much to say about how our past this government has viewed its career and its vocation. So, to help all of us, even to our family members, we cannot thank enough my PDG. I will invite all assistant governors of this zone to please come forward and join me as we present this gift to our past district governor. I mean, there, this is 9112. Can we just put our hands together for him? So, like I said the other time, Zone 3 has changed the narrative of, I can't imagine. Our past district governor was the district governor in the year 2010, 2011. And I cannot count the number of presentations he has done for me in this district and even beyond. He was a chairman of Rotary Leadership Institute, facilitating all over the country. So I can't count the number of plaques. If you are to convert them to dollars, if possible, you will be an AKS by now. So thank you very much, sir, for your time. God bless you. Did you mention anything about Cleveland Sunday here, Lions? Please do.
Well, Rotarians, there's a project about to start on Sunday, which belongs to the 2 districts. That is our partners, Alliance for Smiles. 2 of them have arrived. Another 10 will arrive tomorrow. And from Sunday from the United States. 11 from the United States, 1 from New Zealand. Doctors, surgeons, anesthetists, pediatricians, nurses, and different things like that. They are here on a VTT, vocational training team, and they'll be doing surgeries for children with cleft lip and palate defects at the Burns and Trauma Center, Lasso Annex in General Hospital, Bagada. Free surgery for children with cleft lip and palate defects. We have been doing some publicity. If you are not aware and you know any children, send them to that place on Sunday. We shall be glad to take them on. And surgeries will take place from Monday till Thursday. They will come again in April. And by the time they are leaving, they will leave behind equipment and other things to support continued treatment by the doctors who are living here with us. So it is your project as a district. And I will call on you. The club that supported us have already sent ambassadors to join the committee. But any other Rotarian that is proud of what your district is doing, what your DG has supported with DGS, what several other clubs in your district have given money, as cash to support. Support can also come through your presence and support with the staff. And so we look forward to your participation. It is your project. And anything that is yours, we want to make sure that it goes well, isn't it? So we look forward to seeing you. Thank you.
Please, can we put our hands together for that beautiful? You need to see, maybe before we end this program, I will display the picture of children with this defect. And when the surgery, is finally done, and then we will see the difference there. They can eat well now, they can suck breast, and they can do everything. I think somebody will laugh. Let's be honest.
My district governor, Rotarians and guests, kindly permit me to read out the profile of Dr. Mustafa Hosni Balogun. Dr. Mustafa Hosni Balogun is a marketing scholar in Nigeria. The leverage of his academic background and professional experience to drive innovation and excellence in the field. He is a lecturer in the Department of Marketing, Lagos State University, LASU, and currently on sabbatical at Lagos State University of Science and Technology. His academic journey is testament to his dedication. Having earned Bachelor and Master of Science degrees from Zonal University, Shogapoly and University of Lagos respectively. His doctoral training was at Lagos Business School, Lagos State University, Lagos Business School and Brunel, University of London, UK. Dr. Balogun's teaching portfolio at Lagos State University spans both undergraduate and postgraduate levels. Research interests are focused on understanding communication, management, and impact on social and public-private institutions, especially in the developing economy like Nigeria. Research travel and grants, notably from the Lagos State Government, Foundation, and the Temporary Education Trust Fund had found, underscoring his expertise and the relevance of his work. Apart from his academic interests, Dr. Balogun is the of Foundation, a non-governmental foundation. Foundations are to promote community education for healthy living, support academic research for health, education, and religion, and creating an enabling business clinic for active poor women and young active graduates. Dr. Balogun is married with children. Distinguished Rotarians, may we now give him a standing ovation as he addresses us. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Please be seated. I said on the existing protocol, I think that we have space of time. Yes. The topic of today is cross-cultural understanding in the civil society of Rosary's operators. Looking at the next person sitting beside you, you can see that the individual is dressed differently,
and most likely the person is either a male or a female. And the background of the individual beside you shows that that individual is different from your person, which implies that individually we have different backgrounds, different cultures, and every other thing that makes us distinct. Next slide. Looking at culture, it refers to the shared beliefs, the value systems, the behavior, and also artifacts that talks about our background, which makes each individual to be distinct from one. And because we come from different cultures, we need to have a understanding of one another so that we're able to relate with one another. And that is where cross-cultural understanding comes to play. Rotary as this consists of people from diverse backgrounds. And this diversity has always been united in achieving the goals of Rotary. It is that Rotary is over 100 years. And what are those things that have kept Rotary together ever since the first meeting was held in 1905? And therefore, it is that we have to have the ability to comprehend and appreciate the values of each other, and also the belief systems, the customs that each individual believes in or is coming from, so that the behaviors that emanate from these different environments, we need to have a good understanding of one another and these cultural backgrounds so that we can be able to relate together. Next slide. So therefore, we need to promote cross-cultural understanding and mutual respect within the society. If there is no mutual respect amongst one another, we wouldn't be able to be united or to achieve the Rotary goals, the Rotary values, and also the I think the 7 items which Rotary has put forward to achieve. And therefore, we're looking at the 4-way test. How has the ethical value or responsibility of the 4-way test on each individual, how has it been able to sustain the interaction of people from diverse cultures in order to achieve the moral and ethical framework that is in that 4-way test? And we look at the collaboration and the conflict resolution activities that it has been able to help us to achieve as Rotarians. We are here today. We are at least a minimum of 3 clubs. And as we are sitting united, we are listening passively and also attentively, and also we are able to progress. So what are those things making us to be like this? Please, next time. Let's look at the Rotary's role in fostering ethical harmony. Rotary brings together the diverse cultural backgrounds, people of different social classes, and different people of different professional backgrounds. And in this diversity, we are able to harness together, as said by the portal. She said the former presenter helped her when she was down for about 6 months. His specialization was used in order to make her mobile again, which implies that the diversity that exists in Rotary, we are able to tap from it in order to help ourselves rest. And therefore, the differences in value systems, the differences in which our ability of us to communicate, and the different traditions need to be understood adequately. And understanding these differences should be optimally utilized, for which every one of us can get different gains from being a member of Rotary. And therefore, the 4-way test offers a moral guide that every individual should be able to support in order for it to be what it is today.
Next slide, please. So what is the four-way test? I believe we four-way test. It says of the things we think we say or do, it is it the truth? These are questions we ask ourselves. What we are doing, is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? And will it be beneficial to all concerned? If we are able to ask these questions in every or activity that we do, is it likely that we will trust the next person us? Because there will be that belief system that we are following these four cardinal goals. Next slide, please. So, we are looking at the problems that emanate from us being from different cultural backgrounds and trying to come together to achieve the best within this group. And what are the barriers? We have logistic barriers, we have physical, cultural, organizational, and interpersonal, in which there are more barriers than this. I'm just using this as an example. Next slide, please. So, when we look at these barriers, there are problems. You have problems like communication barriers, differences in values and norms, attitude towards time, leadership and power distance, stereotyping and ethnocentrism, and adaptation to rules. Now, for example, communication barrier. For those who are Yoruba here, and if not even looking at it from that tribe, our mothers, when we do some activities and they say, okay, mommy, can I take it? And she says, take it, take it, take it. What is the meaning? Excuse me. My question is this. Our mothers, not the Gen Z mothers. What? It says, take it. Why is it that you cannot take it? The time. Now, when we are organization first, and you see somebody background is individualist background, in which the individual likes to do things himself, he wants to see him as being purpose. As the culture comes from, let's say, the American or maybe Australian culture, they do things individually, and it makes them to feel proud that yes, they know what they do. Whereas in another culture like Nigeria, it is a communal culture. Like Japan, it is a communal culture in which people do things together. By the time they come up with ideas, people they brainstorm in order to reach the best decision and action. But if somebody from that individualistic culture comes into a communal culture and starts to act in the background that is coming from, people around here will see the person as what? Arrogant. Yes. So in communities like this, it's bound to happen. New person coming in, and that is why there is a statement, there is a very great in the Yoruba land. Respect to the elders around here. When a new person comes into our fold, we will say welcome. How do we greet? Hello. 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 Literally means or walk gently or look at the ground or notice your environment before you do anything you need to do. Essence means that all that glitters is not gold. Try to understand the terrain in which you find yourself before you interact with people. And in plots like this, If you think around, you see that some people have at one way or the other offended one person or the other unknowingly, just because of the variability or the background that the individual is coming from. So we need to understand each other's background when we relate or before we relate and even when relating, so that you will know that the person is coming with and be able to persevere to understand and communication will come in. And it goes on with other types of problems that we find in clubs like this, which are differences in values and norms, attitudes towards time. That in particular, we're saying we're starting for 9, it turns to 10, it turns to 11. In some instances, you find the people would have gone because they will believe that maybe the program or the organizers are not what? Are not serious. And here, it is Nigeria. We have what is called African time. And because we are Nigeria and we know that it is African time, when you are called to parties for, let's say, 2 o'clock, what time will you get there? Yes, if you are even very early. Yes, a 2 o'clock party, you are getting there for 5. Maybe they are just arranging the seats. Because yes, you'll be seeing that yes, by the time you get there around 7, yes, the party has just begun. And it is then you see the party ending by around 11, 12. You now start looking at the ID starting at 2 o'clock and by 12 we still moving like this. You will know that African time is what is happening. And therefore you can't then carry that African time to say that you are going to the airport, your plane that has to depart for 10 a.m. You now get there for 11:30 and you take African time, which means that the culture is different. Next slide, please. So, what are the possible solutions? In communication barriers, you need to encourage cross-cultural communication, such as because of the trainings, having clear language use, and also active listening. You need to listen to have a good understanding of what the next thing is saying, so that you won't. And once you are able to have a good understanding of what is being communicated, the sender and the receiver should always be on the same page. Information that are passed across, at times they come up in topic, and you need to ask questions. And that is why at times when lectures are given, people are given the opportunity to ask questions so that they will be on the same page with the presenter. You have other attitude towards time, which you establish mutual time expectation and balance flexibility with discipline. When everyone is disciplined towards time, and that is why you have decided at hand to control the excesses of individuals during events, so that they will be able to caution themselves. And any person who is liable will be able to give to what? Give to charity. Next slide, please. Now, looking at the progress too, and in Rotary, those things that Rotary had been able to do in order to resolve these problems emanated. In communication barriers, you have multilingual communication and translation at Rotary conventions. Somebody in Belgium, they speak French and 2 English and another language. Hello, yes. In a community in which more than one language is spoken, what happens to the that is not said at the presentation? They should be taken care of. And that is why at times people with assisted disabilities, you see sign languages being offered for them to be part of the discussion, which implies that communication is very key in every organization. Once every member is on the same page, then information flow will be very easy. You have attitude towards time too, in which you have flexible club structures, you have e-clubs, you have satellite clubs, you have emphasis on project-based participation over rigid attendance and things like that. And that is why people have the flexibility of relating with one club or the other, and also the opportunity, if you can't be a member, or even if you can't attend the club meetings, you can attend another club meetings and come up with the certificate to show that yes, you are at this meeting at that point in time, just for you to justify that yes, you are an active member and you take attendance of meetings very, very serious. These are you have what's called solutions given to the different problems that had existed or that have been existing, so that people will find it easy to relate in the club. You have another one there, which is leadership and power distance, in which you have leadership institutes in which people are trained about the doctrines within the club, and also how they will be able to relate outside the club, because every member of Rotary is a representation of the values of Rotary. And we are expected that all Rotarians should be seen as people of virtue and as leaders within the society. Next slide, please. So based on that, we need to align the 4A tests to the culture. And how do we do that? When that question, is it the truth, is being asked, you are asked to clarify and not to assume. If you clarify the information and you don't assume, it implies that you will be able to have the good information idea of what it's all about. The next is it fair to all concerned? That is, you should give equal voice and opportunity. Even as a leader, somebody comes to tell you an information about another person, you need to ask those questions. Hello, what you have said, can you say it in the front of others and you bring them together? All right, I had this, you said this, how are we going to? Then speak their minds, and it may be a problem of communication. Next is we need to have better friendship. We need to encourage empathy and listening. When there's empathy, people are able to put themselves in the other person's shoes. Then you will have an understanding of where the person's background is, where it's coming from, and why the reaction is like that. And will it be beneficial to all concerned? Design inclusive service projects in which every member of the community, every member of the club will be part of. It's not that the service project that our chapter is doing is all about the SO. No, it is a project that encourages every member of the chapter to be part of. And that is why we are members of projects that is pursuing, so that we will be able to achieve greater. So expectation is that we get different values and system that each and every member is coming their way. Interculture, there should be reduction in misinterpretation, there should be greater in which every person passes the way that organization, so that we have strong friendships, we will build amongst one another, and projects achieve understanding Please, I'm going to once again. Let us celebrate our of. Yeah, that was very good. Is there anything for me? One or two questions? Okay, I want to call on Councillor stand up with the coordinator for the presentation.
Thank you. My GG fellow Rotarians, I think Dr. Balogun has a brain of Rotary in him. Yeah, so, yeah. Myself and AG would say, when we met him and we approached him, and he said he would be here today. Yeah. And we told our fellow Rotarians that what is the improvements to reach us in zone 3? And it's only zone 3 that can prove that story. Dr. please, and my DG, please.
Thank you very much. I will also request my past district governor for us to present this award. I noticed that through this presentation to do this presentation. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. My district governor, guest. It's been an interesting afternoon. I actually listened and for along with and been able to marry our guiding principle with cultural environment. Thank you. On behalf of the district governor, to you in appreciation of your inspiring lecture of today to us on the occasion of the
So we appreciate. At this moment, please, I want to quickly recognize our icons and heroes. There are some of them that have not been recognized, so I want to quickly do that. We have who also we recognize Ààrẹ olóṣèlú